Well, today on In the Circle, we have Southern Illinois coach Jen Sewell, and In the Circle is brought to you by Rawlings. Rawlings is the official softball of the Missouri Valley Conference and the NCAA championships. Rawlings is the mark of a pro. And coach, second year at the helm. So how are things going? Kind of slowed down for you, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been, being a first-time head coach, I've definitely relied on Carrie still being around the department, and some of the head coaches in the league have been super helpful. So it's been good. Excited to have this program. Obviously, is a historic program. So it's just, it's an honor to be here. I think about that every day that I get up. So.
Yeah, it really is a big part of the Missouri Valley Conference and the Gateway, and it always has been. And you guys are having a phenomenal season, 29-11 so far on the season, but a little bump in the road here over the last six, dropped six in a row. What have you seen and what have you learned about your team over the 6-game losing streak, and what do you kind of need to do to get it going back in the right direction for the last part of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think every coach knows adversity's coming, right? You're not going to skirt through a year. I've never been around a program that had an easy year, and you always try to prepare teams for that bump in the road, and they're young and they're looking at you like, come on, coach, like it's going great. What could possibly happen? And then we hit this, it was actually the part of the season that I think in our staff had identified as it could be rough. We needed to really pay attention, and it was rough. It was made rougher by a lot of travel and some injuries. Unfortunately, now we're getting those players back. But things happen, and you can't always control every piece of the puzzle. But I tell you what, I think we found out too that we're pretty darn tough, and we're competitive, and we were competitive despite taking our lumps. There were some things we couldn't control, especially on the mound. And you know what? I think we'll bounce back at home. We've had a good couple of days of practice. Just getting off the road always makes everybody feel better. So excited just to see us show up. Like, kids were asking for extra work Monday, Tuesday. I think that shows the mark of a team that doesn't want to lay down. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little home cooking is always good. You guys are 17-0 at home and heading into the weekend. So that's a nice little recipe for success for you guys. So
exactly. It was definitely sort of like perspective was key. So we needed to remember who we were, especially at home. So
I agree. Home is always nice. But one of the players that has kind of been the steady player and steady influence for the team this year is Elizabeth Warwick. And she really, I think a year ago, just a little under 300 she was hitting, and she's upped her average about 80 points this year. How have you seen her game evolve?
I think she's just become a smarter player in terms of not just her physical skill, but her mental skills, how she manages the bats. It's tough for players when they start to get scouted in that sophomore season. There's a ton of film out there, and I think she really upped her game in terms of what she was looking for at the plate. But I think what people miss out on, because she's such a good hitter, she's an incredible outfielder. She saves our rear ends all the time, and some of the plays that she makes are routine to her. If you ask her, I should make that play. And I think the staff sometimes look at her, like nobody makes that play, pulling balls down off the wall, running into the tarps, sliding underneath balls. She takes a lot of outs away, and we talk about it with our program. The fastest to 21 normally wins. So it's been a big defensive help for us.
Yeah, she's been impressive, but you've also had a little freshman impact with Jackie Liss. She has really done a nice job. Just the transition has been seamless for her into her role. Tell us a little bit about Jackie.
Well, she's, Aunt played here. Becky Liss is one of the great Valley players here under Coach Brechtelsbauer, and then Carrie got to coach her a little bit. So she comes from a long line of ball players, and dad and grandfather played some professional softball. And I think she has the mark of a professional hitter. She can take some pitches to get what she needs. She can, strike out in her first at bat and come right back and go 2 for 3. So to be 18 years old in a very tough league with great pitching, And to come back and have those kinds of games and just be a really tough out that young has been incredible. And she moved over to shortstop, which I think surprised her. But she really settled us down. We're young up the middle, but she plays like a veteran, so that's all we can ask.
And your pitching it seems like every year Southern Illinois pitching is always really good, and this year is no exception. So talk a little bit about your staff and Maddie Eberly.
Yeah, Eberly has been a real, not a surprise to us, but I think a surprise to others, has added a couple of wrinkles in her game. And that's really helped her move up to the #1 spot. She's really kept her walks down and has kept people on first base. So she's not making a lot of mistakes right now. We've asked her to pitch to contact and pitch a little less to the strikeout idea, which is tough for pitchers that can throw in the upper 60s. They want to go, they want to make people whiff. And I think for us, it's been a little bit more pitching by committee. She worked in the closer role early in the season, which was pretty cool, picked up a ton of wins out of that spot. And now she's been going more in the opener role, which I like. And she's healthy. So that's always a big, I think she spent the first 2 years a little bit bunged up. So I think when you're healthy and you get the ball, you feel like you can go a lot longer. Your legs aren't going to come out from underneath you at some point. So I see her pitching healthy and just super proud of her. She's a vocal leader. She's kind of our mojo leader as well. So to grab the ball a lot on Fridays and Sundays has been big for us. So
back in September, we lost a legend, not only for Southern Illinois, but for the Missouri Valley Conference and women's athletics and women's softball in general. Dr. Kate Brechtelsbauer passed away, and I know I had the opportunity to coach against her, play against her, so knew her, and to lose her was tough for the program. Talk a little bit about her impact and what she has meant to Southern Illinois and you and Carrie and the rest of the staff.
Yeah, it was just sort of the blow historically, right? With 3 head coaches here. She was part of mentoring the other 2. So it was like your best friend at work. It was a presence that she knew how to win, and she laid down sort of the original legacy here and the culture of, and it's still in play today. I mean, you work hard, you come here, you play hard, you work hard, you go to class, you get great grades, you become a good human being. She started that, and it was easy in the sense to just roll that culture over. And she was kind of ever present at practice and at games, obviously with the naming of the field after her. She was sort of like the person that you could call and say, hey, I need advice on anything, not just softball, I need life advice. But she fought to the end, and I knew she would. I think it's sort of her legacy. She was a tough competitor, and she had been through a lot. Her body had been through a lot. Her mind had been through a lot. But to the very end, she said, don't you worry about me. You go and you win games and you keep this program going. And she was smart. She had a great personality. She was a player's coach. And I think Carrie was a player's coach. And every time you suit up, you think about her. And I think that's one of the things I hope she's always enjoying games and looking down on us and kind of wishing us the best. And she was my neighbor, so she lived down the street from me. So it was one of those things. This community was built on people just like her. This culture was, built on her. So when we recruit, we still talk about her. What other program has had 3 head coaches, and they've gone, the 2 ahead of me have gone a very long time, and there was never a rebuilding situation here. We weren't rebuilding this program. We were just doing what Kay said, and that makes it very easy for someone like me to come in and say, hey, it's been 60 plus years. This is what we do here. Don't go outside of it. It works. And it works because she laid the foundation.
Yeah, what a wonderful coach and person, and the legacy will definitely live on
Absolutely.
for many, many years.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you guys get to do, hosting on her field, you guys get to host the Missouri Valley Conference tournament, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So talk a little bit about the preparation, and we're not that far away.
We are not. We've spent quite a bit of money last year over the summer completely renovating the actual surface was our first step. So we reset our drainage, completely scraped it. It was one of the scariest projects I've ever seen, scraped it completely to the dirt. It looked like a desert out there, and re-leveled, laser leveled, reset the drainage to the original plans, which was quite the project. I thought, man, we may never see another blade of grass on this field the way they brought it to the earth, basically. And that was really important for us to present a quality surface to the league, and did some other minor things like painting and resetting. And I think teams are going to get a really great experience. I think our staff here loves to host. I think we do a great job. With Carrie being around, she's been helping us sort of get set and get ready, the needs of coaches, the needs of teams. It's going to be a great weekend. We actually have graduation that weekend as well. So it's going to be, I think, one of the highlight events here, not just for us, but for the Valley. So I'm excited. We are about a month out, I think, and we've been prepping about once a week with our staff. And I know our players are excited, but I think other teams are going to be really excited about what they get to play on. So,
well, I think we're certainly going to have a great tournament. I'm excited to see all the upgrades and updates. And yeah, we are about a month away. So looking forward to seeing you down in Carbondale in a very short amount of time. And good luck the rest of the season.
sounds good. We appreciate it. Thank you.